Happy New Year, everybody! Apparently, the quality of my phone's camera was too much to handle for ClipChamp. So again, I might try to do something with that, but right now I just can't really. Maybe converting it to 360p might help, but we'll see about that later. As for now, enjoy the video. I liked it when Michael Morbius said, "It's autism time," and autism all over the place, with Klonoa. That's it. We're actually going to talk about how Klonoa is very much an autistic video game. Finally, it's my channel icon. Klonoa is about a kid living in a world of dreams, but there is a statue with a song with a lady. So Klonoa and Yupo investigate. But aside from one or two scenes, this is the most serious kids games you'll ever play. Nobody gives a heck about how colorful the cast is. Klonoa plays it straight with no amount of self-awareness or even of self-aware humor. It's as serious as it wants to be, which is comparable to 3D Sonic games having some darker themes. While the first Klonoa is a serious fairy tale, Klonoa 2 is somehow more down to earth with religious symbolism, interrogating the different aspects of religion without demonizing it like most JRPGs. This is a kid's game. How do you do that? The thing is that Japan has some different standards from ours about what is kids media. Like, apparently Bloodfest Puppy the Performer was supposedly for kids. While in Canada, for some reason, someone decided to publish Ma Meilleure Amie, a story about a terminally ill child that has to face a certain type of, the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper is this friend. It's also about sorrow or something, because again, symbolism in your kid's game. Again, I absolutely do not want to spoil anything, because you people need to play the Klonoa, at least the remasters. Empire of Dreams for the GBA is not as intense as the console title story-wise, but has the same kind of atmosphere in that department. I haven't played Dream Champ Tournament, nor Heroes, but it might have that too. I don't think the Volleyball game has that though. My opinion is that I'd still say that it's better written than 19% of Sonic games. Klonoa is great at telling a story, even in my opinion to the point where even the shifty look comic that ends in a cliffhanger pleased me. Alright, shifty look. Basically, Namco decided to make a department for intellectual properties that were abandoned, so we got a bunch of comics based on some obscure games, even some cartoons, and a dating sim parody game. So we had a Klonoa comic for a while, and that's it. Heck, even Klonoa's cameo in the Bravo Man cartoon, aka Teen Titans Go Down Right, was charming. Yes, I'm still salty about the cancelled Klonoa movie, but at least we got some remasters. Wait, I forgot to talk about the gameplay. Instead of the world being a mere background to the level design, the level design is the world. That's the thing about most 2.5D post-Saturn games. I need to make another video on the Sega Saturn-like games someday. But Klonoa portrays a 3D world from a 2D perspective, with NPCs making it feel even more alive. There's also the puzzle aspect where you use enemies in order to progress to the level. You can learn the enemy placement to speedrun through the level, but each level is just not an obstacle, as it is alive. The world map makes each level and the story feel more coherent, thus much more satisfying to go through than something like classic Sonic, where you just run through levels as fast as you can, so whee! And then the game ends finally. Yes, I'm being mean to Sonic for once. Deal with it. It's why I will play most classic Sonic games for like 30 minutes or use level select cheats while I explore everything in Super Mario World. And there is so much to discover that the map becomes an adventure. So playing Super Mario World feels like you're going on a trip, on a kind of vacation, which is the theme of the game, by the way. I agree with James' role for once. No matter how many Sonic games are on a Genesis, they cannot replace Super Mario World in my heart. But maybe Dynamite Eddie or Ristar have a chance. Dynamite Eddie used the aesthetics of a theater play to show how the player's progressing, while Ristar has an actual map. Wait, I got sidetracked again, didn't I? So, Klonoa. Playing a Klonoa level is both like immersing yourself in a living, breathing world and like solving a Rubik's Cube over and over again. Some unlockables will require you to acquire gems in an efficient way. I hate these things that multiply gems for a limited amount of time that you need to use to get an high score. The most autistic of us, learning how to get an high score, will master it, but I won't. Klonoa is still autistic as heck, like the Pac-Man on his hat, who I also discussed in that one autistic video games video. Damn, that's repetitive. I talked about Klonoa for 4 pages. Dang, I should talk about something my viewers asked me to. Slime Rancher? Okay, I'll admit it, it's one of those demos. I got 5 games for Christmas, so I don't have time to spare for one more game. Especially a game with addictive gameplay like this one. Slime Rancher consists of capturing slimes, feeding them, harvesting their excrements to sell it to other people, but I just feel bad for these tiny slimes, so I let them free while just casually feeding them. Hashtag free the slimes on Twitter, maybe. There are many types of slimes, including some that can end you. It's a neat gameplay loop. I like it because of the routine it has, which makes it autistic. However, despite the routine, there is an exploration aspect of the title that can be appealing. However, you don't need to explore right now, you just take as much time as you want to do what you want. There are also some requests to do in order to progress. These requests, as well as the letters you get, give you some Slime Rancher lore. I don't think it gets too dark, but there definitely is something to discover here. Like the sound design. The music sounds like this. But the sound that definitely gets me is the object sucking sound, or throwing sound. Despite me wanting to free slimes, the sounds of 20 slimes being thrown around is so satisfying. The evil version of me is like, capture all of these slimes and throw them at once! While the good version of me is like, wait, he's got a point actually! So yeah, Slime Rancher's sucking and throwing gameplay is definitely autistic. It kinda reminds me of Luigi's Maison actually. Wait, I mean Luigi's Mansion. French joke. However, unlike Luigi's Mansion, Slime Ranger is less spooky. But as for Luigi's Mansion, you suck in the ghosts that roam around instead of slimes, but with a lot less freedom to explore. It sort of is like the older Resident Evil titles. But Luigi...
Resident Evil. It's in the game.
Don't worry, the sound design here is top-notch. The ghosts make spooky noises using their voices, their hit points dropping sounds like xylophones. And coins are flying everywhere. It's all satisfying in that same autistic way as Pikmin. Also, if you push books in a slightly inappropriate manner, you might be able to read on some of the ghost lore. Unfortunately, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon ditched that aspect in order to focus on mission-based levels. It's a portable game, you need to reach the checkpoint save in the next 15 minutes. Barely anyone has the time to play video games for more than that, at least portable-wise. At the very least, the sound design is back and more autistic than ever. But what if these sounds were in real life? Introducing Luigi's Mansion for arcade. Yes, seriously. There was an arcade that popped up in my local mall during the pandemic with many pinball machines, as well as Luigi's Mansion. It's an on-rail shooter where you try sucking up ghosts and coins using an actual ectoblast something. While the graphics are obviously reused from Dark Moon, the different perspective feels fresh. Every time you suck up anything, your vacuum cleaner makes a little noise while you feel a vibration in it. This tickles my autism in a surprising way, while keeping me hooked for the next few moments, until I perish. Luigi's Mansion Arcade resonates with my mind in ways very few arcades games do. Go Luigi, stick that butt in the air. Plus the best part is that the cabinet has some curtains, isolating you from the rest of the arcade, which prevents you from being distracted by all the other cabinets, and immerses you in this spooky location. Ooh. So yes, that's very autism friendly. Since it was designed as an arcade cabinet, it can still be hard, especially with normal controls, but there is a simple controls options. So yeah, go Luigi. Go Luigi, go Luigi, go Luigi, go Luigi, go Luigi. I also got a comment that Half-Life was autistic, and after watching some gameplay, because again, I don't have time to play it, I get it, somewhat. In video games, you often get directions given by people who will simply help you, but what if they were wrong? Half-Life is about Gordon Freeman on his way to participate in an experiment. However, despite the scientist's advice, it all goes wrong and you're all on your own. How horrifying is that? The aspect of living in a neurotypical society is that oftentimes the people in charge don't know anything about neurodivergent people. So you're given instructions that you can't understand by people who don't know about your well-being nor care about it. Due to that, I can see how the game can feel autistic to some people. So, as far-fetched as the story sounds, there is a similarity to my life experiences. So yeah, I think Half-Life is kinda autistic. I would say the closest thing to that is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I would recommend you Patricia Taxon's video on it if you want to understand more what I mean. But as for Half-Life, it was part of that one Wario YouTube poop.
Rise and shine, Mr. Wario. Rise and shine.
We have anything to say, you stupid rocket.
So yes, it is the ultimate autism combined. I would even argue that Garry's mod is also autistic, as people started animating with it. And the thing is that I love animation as a medium, and it is one of my special interests. So Gmod allowing people to create their own animations on YouTube kinda fueled my autism. Kitty0607, may he rest in peace's videos are among some of the most iconic Gmod videos on the platform. Even though some aspects just remind me how terrible the gaming fandoms can be, even to minorities. But I don't blame Kitty0607 for this anyways. It is very complicated. Aside from that, the very slapsticky humor reminds me of cartoons, while the exaggerated facial expressions also do that. I just love to rewatch these videos from time to time. The TF2 short films also inspired the Gmod animations, because they're mostly visual cartoons. In an era of realistic dull brown games, they stood out, gathering the most autistic of us to watch them over and over and analyze its lore. Oh right, it's also a video game. I like it. While we're talking about Gaben's games, Portal kinda does the misleading instructions by making you conform to a very comfortable routine of doing tests over and over until it is revealed that the AI wants you gone. So you're on your own now. Again, same kind of autistic existential horror as Half-Life. Neat. I mentioned how Space Invaders Extreme remind me of Rez, so might as well talk about how autistically satisfying Tetsuya Mizugushi's games are. Of course, we have Rez. Rez's gameplay is tied to its music, so every single thing you shoot is satisfying due to the escalation of the music with the sound effect. It's like a musical version of Panzer Dragoon, except you can't move your character, which can be annoying at times. But look at these Y2K looking aesthetics. It mashes Vibroband, the Matrix, as well as any other futuristic thing you can think of. There even was a vibration accessory that ended up being used for other nefarious purposes. The overwhelming amount of mechanics all clicking together worlds. My autism loves Rez. Luminous is not as mechanically satisfying, but it still has blocks that do noises according to the background music, while the art style changes, but it's less like Meteos where you can fight each other and more like you just chilling, to some outstanding music, including that one time these devs tried to create their own pop band called Genki Rockets. Heavenly Stars is so great, holy carp, I am crying. Heavenly Stars, my voice is not made for this. There is also every extend extra, which has the players to explode stuff and create chains. Yes, the sound design is important so that every explosion makes my brain go whee! It's autistic enough to make me addicted to these colors, despite how simple it is. You also have a limited amount of explosions, so you can just dilly-dally and explode anything in one shot. So that's very satisfying. To tell you the truth, I've been through most of my comment section, and I've done most of the suggestions that you people gave to me, so it might be the end of the saga, but I'm not sure. All I know is that I have 2 games left to talk about in this video, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The video is nearing its end, but I still have a couple of titles to talk about. First up has to be Kingdom Hearts. Literally everyone autistic I know in real life knows or at least was invested in Kingdom Hearts at some point. Some people gave up, while others are still invested in the ongoing story that mixes cartoons with JRPGs. It's not cynical at all and takes itself 100% seriously, despite that some of the jokes hit hard though, while other moments are surprisingly emotional too. And yes, it made me cry. And that's not even counting the action RPG gameplay that's as accessible as you want it to be, thanks to the numerous difficulty setting. But it's still fun. The recognizable characters certainly help too. I like it. But what if Kingdom Hearts had Pokemon? Wait a second. That already happened once. Let's just pull that under the rug for now. The Nintendo DS has at least 4 monster catching games involving dinosaurs. They're probably autistic, but I don't care. Because Disney wanted its share of the market, it created Spectrobes on the DS. It was mildly successful sales-wise, but after 2DS games, it was Wii time. And yes, the Wii game was handled by Genki, who made the Ghibli Monster Catcher and the Crash Bandicoot with magnets. I can't make this up. But Spectrobes Origins has an accessible medal system, a story that takes itself seriously, although it has a bit of Disney humor in it, and a Chow Garden for your Spectrobes. I'm not kidding. You can chill there with your Spectrobes while giving them items to level up. It's the closest thing to a new Chow Garden I can get, and I will take it! I also am confused by this Phantasy Star Online interface, but unlike Phantasy Star Online, you get to explore more than one town. And the NPCs have an actual personality. Too bad the only online aspect it uses is that you could post your pictures on photobouquet.com. Yes, seriously. But as for the game, the bosses also gave me a harder time than expected, so take your time to grind. It's also not the best written game in the world in my opinion, but I think it is autistic enough. The game can be about grieving and experiencing loss, so it is as pretentious as it wants to be. I still find it funny that this game came out a whole 2 years before Pokemon would attempt to tackle a serious narrative.
Allow us to introduce ourselves.
No, Pokemon Colosseum does not count. Okay, here's one final game I would call autistic. Point Blank sort of has the same kind of randomness as WarioWare, a fun little arcade game that throws some things at you every 5 seconds. But before Point Blank, there was an attempt at introducing something new every 5 seconds in a platformer. Sega Sonic Arcade is arguably the most chaotic Sonic game, as you try escaping Dr. Eggman's trap using a trackball. Nothing feels the same. Every few seconds Sonic and Pals are projected in the air or are slowed down by obstacles. All of that makes you want to push on to see what else is next. It's a continuous spectacle that goes on and on. It's like, girl, you need a shot of B12. At this point. Wait, didn't Sonic also get a boy band? Other Sonic games have tried to replicate this chaos using boost-based gameplay, but none of them ever came close. It's probably also because it is an arcade game, and that arcade games need to be hard enough in order for people to start giving you more coins. But shh. However, I think the closest thing that replicates its style is a fan creation. Mario and Sonic's 3D Race 1 and 2. The installments of Mario and Sonic Racing go beyond anything Sega Sonic Arcade ever did. It all feels like it's going 500 miles per hour and stuff always happens even when it's slowed down. I'd rather have this than Super Mario Bros. Z. This is Autism Overdrive. I love every second of it. So yeah, I think this is the conclusion to the Autistic video game saga. And I don't think I have missed anything. But right now it is the conclusion to the saga. So yeah, we'll see what I'll do next. Thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and bye bye!